All right, everybody. This is another episode of Rush Hour. I think we are on episode 7. Yeah. And I am joined by one of my favorite co hosts in the entire world, Mr. Damian Adams, the real deal. Thank you so much for guest co hosting with me tonight. I appreciate it.
It's no problem at all. If I can come on any show where there's a girl swimming in a pool over a logo to start the
Yes.
show, hey, I'm there.
You're there, right? I mean, we do have really cool logos. I mean, we have our brand videos are really on point. Just to remind everybody that Rush Hour is brought to you by Astroflave, lean, mean, and clean protein and supplements for your wellness and fitness journey. And of course, keeping you hydrated with whatever your beverage of choice is, although you all always think it's vodka in my cup, but it's not. All right, D. So
You're a whiskey girl.
no, I am a vodka girl. Today I have water. What are you drinking?
I'm a whiskey guy, but this is water.
Sure it is. All right, D. Well, the Super Bowl is set. And this is not how I wanted to come on the show today and start it with who the Super Bowl teams are. But here we are. We have a Super Bowl, Kansas City, Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, are you happy? Because I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't have any, dog in the fight when it came down to the playoffs. I didn't have any rivalries. Like, I guess Tampa Bay was the only rival I had as a Saints fan. I was in the playoffs, but I knew they weren't going to go far. So after that, it was like, yeah, I'm just, want to see the best matchups. And I think this is the best possible Super Bowl matchup. I think we're going to have a great game.
Yeah, as much as I hate it and I didn't want to come on here and say, oh, the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, I feel like did we get the best matchup possible? I feel like we got the right final 4 teams, and did we get the right final 2 teams?
You could make an argument that Cincinnati probably should have won that game. They definitely had their opportunities. But Kansas City, I don't think you go wrong with Kansas City or with the Chiefs going against the Eagles. I do think the Eagles proved that they were the right representative of the NFC. AFC, you could have won either squad there with Kansas City or Cincinnati.
Yeah, so we'll get into it. We'll break the games down a little bit. We'll talk about some of the egregious things that we saw go on last night during the games. But first, want to start off with getting your thoughts on the Jets hiring Nathaniel Hackett as their new offensive coordinator. Now, I put this on Twitter and I was just like, well, really? Why? Like, I feel like there's so many people, there's so many guys who deserve a chance at being offensive coordinator. And I feel like the NFL, or I don't know, sports in general, is the only place where you can completely suck at your job and just get fired and turn around and get another high paying job. So I guess everyone was trying to tell me that it's because they're trying to get Aaron Rodgers. What do you think? Like, first of all, if you know me, I am so sick of the Aaron Rodgers saga. I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, I don't care. Go host Jeopardy. Go do whatever you're doing. Like with the Jets, I don't know. Why Nathaniel Hackett? And do you think there's a legit chance Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets?
I hope they did not hire him in hopes of getting Aaron Rodgers, because I don't see Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay. Because the contract he's with Green Bay, that means you have to negotiate a trade. He has to agree to it. Like, there's so much that has to go on for him to end up on the Jets. I know that the whole thing about him going to the Broncos was to try to get Aaron Rodgers. And at that time, it seemed more reasonable because that was before he signed an extension. But he's due, what, $58 million next year with Green Bay, and still has 2 more years left on that contract. That's asking a lot to happen. Now, the Jets are a quarterback away. So if they're thinking they can get a quarterback in there that could work in Hackett's system, which we don't know what it is, because it's not like we saw much in Denver. Yeah, we didn't see much in Denver. We saw a historically bad offense in Denver with Russell Wilson. And you wonder, like, do they think Russell Wilson's really that bad? Or do they have to think that. They have to think Russell Wilson is truly done, truly washed up to hire Hackett as offense coordinator, because Hackett wasn't even offense coordinator in Green Bay. Like, he just happened to be a dude on the staff who was cool with Aaron Rodgers and parlayed that into a head coaching job. Must be nice.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like you said, it's the only world where people can truly just fail and fail again into high paying jobs. If they fail as a head coach, they go to a coordinator. If they fail as a coordinator, they go to TV. We just saw it with Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett failed as a head coach of Dallas. He fell with you guys as offensive coordinator, and
Yeah.
then now he's on TV making money with NBC. So that's the world to get in, man. If you want to get into the NFL or get into just a high paying job where it's guaranteed, become a head coach. Jeff Saturday, he's going to be paid for the rest of his life off of like 8 games being a head coach, because now he's going to have that on his resume that he was an NFL head coach and NFL player. So
Yeah.
now when he goes to renegotiate with ESPN, hey, you got to pay me more. I got head coaching experience.
Yeah.
So being an NFL head coach is very hard to do. Obviously, only 32 jobs, but obviously once you do that, you're set for life.
I mean, I want to try because obviously, like you can just fail and still get a job somewhere. Maybe that's how we can get a legit job on TV, right? Let's just get into the NFL, some coaching job, fail, and then just go into broadcasting. Mark says that he's hearing the Packers may move on from Rodgers. Thinks the contract is structured so either side can get out of it.
I haven't heard that it's structured in a way where they can get out of it. I know that there's still a lot of guaranteed money left on it too. Like it's
Yeah.
not like the guaranteed money is gone. So usually you can get out of it once the guaranteed money is done. Like with Derek Carr's contract, the guaranteed money is gone, and now the Raiders have an easy out of that contract. Same thing with like a Jimmy Garoppolo contract and others. But with Aaron Rodgers, I don't see them getting out of that contract unless he says he wants to get traded because Jordan Love is there. It's just so funny how history is repeating itself. If he goes to the Jets the same way that Brett Favre did, I don't see him just based off that alone. I don't see him going to the Jets because I don't see him wanting to repeat the same process. Because I can see him going to the Jets, Vikings get tired of Kirk Cousins, and the next thing you know, he's on the Vikings trying to get revenge on the Packers, and history truly repeats itself.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's
Yes.
wild, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Speaking of Derek Carr, any thoughts as to where Derek Carr might land? I know Giants Nation keeps saying, "Oh, Giants want him. Giants want him." Listen, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I want him over Daniel
Yeah.
Jones, but where's a viable place for Derek Carr to land?
Oh wow! I think there's a lot of opportunities for Derek Carr out there. Maybe my New Orleans Saints. We definitely need a
Oh,
quarterback. I can see us trying to go after him. Uh, the Jets. I can see that happening. That's a place where that's viable. There's a lot of places that need quarterbacks. Maybe if Seattle isn't able to work out something with Geno Smith, he can end up there. Tampa Bay, they're going to need a quarterback.
yeah, they're gonna need a
So there's
quarterback.
there's a lot of places. Carolina, the whole NFC South, basically. He can
Yeah,
end up
you guys
in the
all
whole
need a
NFC.
quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, they all in to look for a quarterback. So he can end up anywhere in the NFC South, the Jets. There's a lot of Derek Carr's going to be a sought after free agent for sure this offseason. So he has a lot of places. I think the best landing spot, honestly, is the Jets. You think about the offensive weapons, that defense. Uh, Hackett kind of downplays it a little bit now. Like it was up here, now it's down here as far as an option because
Yeah, yeah, a little bit,
yeah, because you hire
a little
Hackett.
bit.
But it depends on if maybe he saw something in Denver's offense. I have to see him, wait and see on that. But I think the Jets, as far as the talent around him, is the best option.
Yeah, wow, the Jets. God, they're going to be the hot destination. Usually nobody wants to play in New York because,
Yeah, that's true.
you
The
got to live
Jets.
in Jersey and you got to like pay double income and taxes here are crazy. But you're right. The entire NFC South is going to need a quarterback. Like that is right. You have the Saints, Tampa Bay, Carolina. Oh, well, Atlanta. So what are they going to end up doing?
Well, Atlanta has Riddler, right? But
Right.
so I guess
Yeah.
they're gonna give him a shot. But I
Yeah.
could see even if it's not like when they got Riddler, they thought like this is the guy, right?
Right.
So I can see it, coming up here as far as just being an option as far as everywhere in the NFC South for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. So what about your Saints? I mean, so Jameis Winston like broke his back, right? I mean, essentially that was what's going on. Then they were just married to, the red rifle over there. What
Yeah.
what is the plan here for the Saints? Because we're so used to seeing like this winning team and we're so used to seeing this high-powered offense that this year it just didn't happen.
No,
Not to where we thought it would.
Yeah, no, our offense was terrible. Our defense actually turned it up the second half of the year. I believe we were number one ranked defense the second half of the season, and we still couldn't win games because our offense was that terrible. It's I don't understand what Dennis Allen was doing. Pete Carmichael, the offense coordinator. I felt like going into the year, I thought the Saints would be good because you have a head coach who spent 6 seasons under Sean Payton as a coordinator. Pete Carmichael has literally been with the Saints as a coordinator as long as I can remember, like 14, 15 years. Like he's been there forever. You think both of those guys would have picked up something from Sean Payton. I get that you don't want to do exactly like he can do. You can't be him, right?
Right.
But pick up something. And with the talent they have on defense, this team could be decent. The weapons they added, but of course injuries happen. And once Jameis Winston got back and was healthy enough to play, I thought for sure we should give him a shot. But
Yeah.
for some reason, Dennis Allen thought that Andy Dalton was the best option. And it's not like Andy Dalton came in and was Brock Purdy and just balled out of control and snatched that starting spot. He was Andy Dalton. He was very average. That's what he does. And
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, at least even if he is bad, he's not boring, right? And this year, instead of being bad and bougie, we were bad and boring.
Yes. You were
And that's
bad and
something that is a bad combination right there. So hopefully the game plan is to really get that offense going. Look at new plays and new schemes to the offense. The defense is good. Dennis Allen did a good
yeah.
job of again having that defense there. Offensively, we need a whole new rehaul. Somebody please just put a blessing over Michael Thomas's body and
Yes.
keep it healthy for the for the next year or something.
Yes.
Because even though short time he played this year, we saw old Michael Thomas. We saw him be that guy, and you're like, oh man, if he could just stay healthy. But Chris Olave should be in the Offensive Rookie of the Year finalist, but they gave it to Brock Purdy instead. So we have a bona fide weapon there. You just hope that Alvin Kamara can get back to form, and we'll see if we get a quarterback. That's like it's a lot going on with the Saints right now to see exactly what we're going to look like next year.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Dennis Allen. Maybe just stick to the defense, right? I don't know that I love that as him being head coach. Now, to step into Sean Payton's shoes is really not, I think, anything that anybody wants to do. So that is a tall order. But what do you think? I think he's better suited for the defense coordinator.
I'm gonna try to give him one more year,
All
and I'm not a
right.
big fan of firing people year one unless they just show that they're incompetent, aka
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
But if you are able to, I seem like because the defense was so good the second half of the year, I'm like, okay, the team was still playing hard. We did quote unquote contend for the division, even though the division was horrible. I'll give
Yes.
them one more season, a full off season, get a quarterback in there, and let's see what they can do this year. Now, if this year we're still just as bad, then it's gonna be time for a rebuild anyway because we have older players on defense. So it might be a rough few years for us if we're not able to turn it around this year.
Oh gosh. Well, we will see what happens in the NFC South, AFC South. And I know our friend, Ryan Dunn's going to come on here a little bit later and I will give him hell for this, but the Colts, 2 interviews with Wink Martindale. All right. So I saw this floating around on social media. I want to bring it up to you. It's basically all Giants Nation. We're pissed off at this because of course everybody wants, the hot offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. It's frustrating, right? Because it's like we finally, the Giants have kind of put these pieces in place, right? And I'm not talking about talent on field. Finally, the coaching is there. The coaching personnel is there. It's all seemed to be working. Daniel Jones has upped his game. And for the talent that they've had, I mean, they had a hell of a season. But now you want to take it away. Now we have to start all over again. So I saw somebody suggest this and I really don't hate it. What about like 2 years? If you're a brand new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator on a team, you have to have 2 seasons with them before you go and interview for a head coaching job at another organization.
Wow, that's interesting. I wouldn't want to put that type of limitation on people because some people are, stars, right? And they come in,
Yeah.
they might do that job 1 year and you see head coaching potential. Now, me as a general manager or owner, I would probably want to see that person do the job for more than 1 year. And to answer Mark Thompson's statement there, I know with the Packers, he didn't truly call plays. right?
Yeah.
And that's what was one of the big criticisms of him getting that job in Denver in the first place, to be the offensive guru. And we saw how that worked out. And for as far as coaches getting jobs run year after being an offensive defense coordinator, I would want to see it for more than 1 year, because it could be a fluke, or you could just have great players, right?
Yeah.
You look at someone like Brandon Staley, right? He's known for the defense and being this great defensive guru. He had Hall of Famers on the front line and back line of that Rams defense before he got that job with the Chargers. So it's something that you have to look for, and as far as seeing what's there. Now with Wink, he did do a good job of getting the best out of that talent. So maybe you're like, okay, he can get the best out of not having the best talent. That's something you want in the head coach, because you definitely don't want to have a head coach who only relies on having the best talent. We saw that with the Arizona Cardinals, right? Cliff Kingsbury, his whole system was built on having the best talent. Once that talent was, just brought down a little bit, that record was brought down a lot of bit. So you want to make sure that your coach can do the best with not the best talent, but also be able to, like, there's a lot that goes into head coaching. Like, you have to be able to relate to the players. You have to be able to manage the clock. You have to be able to do all those things at the same time. So it's a lot that goes into it. I'm not envious of people who have to make these decisions on hiring coaches, because we have no idea who's going to be a good coach. Like this, you could be critical of a hire based on certain things, but we have no idea who's going to be a good coach, who's not going to be a good coach. It's really almost like the draft. Like it's really a crapshoot.
It is a crapshoot. And sometimes on this show, guests that come on are a crapshoot, but what's not a crapshoot is my very lovely teammate, Chris, is here. He is joining us on Rush Hour. Yay! Hi!
Are you sure about that, Nikki?
I'm sure. You're the best part of the team.
Thanks for having me for a few minutes. Hey, Damien, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, sir.
All right.
Yes, introductions, informal introductions. So I was just saying that I know Giants Nation is really annoyed that already offensive and defensive coordinator are the hot commodities, right? You got like the Colts interviewing Wink twice. I saw somebody put on social media that you should have to wait 2 years. If you're brand new to an organization, you should have to wait 2 years before you go for a head coaching interview to another organization, which, as Damien was saying, you don't want to hold somebody back, but from a fan standpoint, it's like, damn, now we have to start over. We waited how long to get this team in place, coaching wise and personnel wise. So I don't know. What do you think? Would you be on board with that?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great, but I guess when you flip it around, if you're the team that needs that coach, I guess maybe things could work against you too. So I guess it all depends, but that's an interesting idea. Idea.
I'm just not thrilled about starting over.
The one thing with Wink is that he's at least a little older, so maybe he won't. Yeah. So maybe Wink's a little older and doesn't get that job. I'm happy for him that he has an opportunity, but if I'm the Colts, I want an offensive-minded, head coach. I mean, they need a quarterback, right? I don't know why they'd want a defensive coach, but Jim Irsay, we all know he's crazy.
He's crazy.
Probably doesn't care.
No, he is crazy. He's one of the craziest owners. But you know who's crazy? Whoever runs the Cowboys' social media is crazy, because some of the things that they tweet out, I'm like, this is wild, right?
Just going at Dak's neck after the game.
Yeah, coming for Dak. And you know who I'm really mad at this week? The Empire State Building. Whoever runs the lights for the Empire State Building, why was it lit up in green? And then they went and tweeted it out.
Yeah.
Oh, in celebration of Philadelphia's win. I'm telling you right now, Philadelphia is not lighting up any damn building in Giants blue. All right. Nothing. I was sickened. Chris, were you sick? I was so sickened by that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. And then the backstory today was that was all contracted out either by the NFL. It's probably NFL, not Philadelphia. Somebody on that's a council person with the Empire State Building in that part of Manhattan. And the idea was that they contract those lights out for a fee. So that's terrible. I mean, how could you contract the fee out for a rival? I mean, that should be exempt. Like, no, we're not going to take your money. We're not going to do it. So the NFL, that's something that has to be, I think, investigated. I don't know if it was Philadelphia's people, but it could very well be the NFL. because obviously they lit it up KC colors as well. But that's crazy. That's ridiculous. So it sounds like it's contracted out.
That's horrible, Damien. How
Money
would you
talk.
feel about that? Like, I don't know. What do they have in New Orleans? Like, if they're lighting up Tampa Bay red, I mean,
Oh, we would never. We would never. Like,
never.
so the thing that's in New Orleans, like the side of the Superdome, they always have like different colors on the side of the Superdome lit up.
Mhm.
And right now it's Mardi Gras colors because Mardi Gras season is around the corner. But you would never see like Atlanta Falcons colors or Tampa Bay colors, Carolina colors. Never. No matter who's paying,
Never.
you would never see that. So I definitely think it needs to be investigated. Find out who gave them the green light to do this. Like, this was something that you just don't do. You don't do for a rival. And I know money talks, and it's easy for me to, from behind this microphone, to say that. And I wasn't offered the money, so I don't know how much money it was. So I have to put that out there as a disclaimer. Like, there's a a certain amount of money, but I can't imagine myself doing anything if I had owned some building in New Orleans lighting up in Atlanta Falcons colors. Because first of all, I want to live. I feel like if people knew I lit up in Atlanta Falcons colors and knew who I was, I would make it out of the building.
Yeah. No, you're right. There should be an investigation, and I think the Rush team should be the ones to head it up.
I like it.
Yeah, I think we should file a formal complaint to.
Yeah, we need to investigate for sure. That's right.
Yes, we absolutely do. Let me ask you guys this, Chris, mostly for you. So, Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. I know we are not happy that the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I'm going to be a big Chiefs fan, obviously, this week. So, Kadarius Toney gets all this hate, right? But do we love him if he helps the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and send the Eagles packing? Do we love him again?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to. I mean, just for one game. I mean, by all accounts, he seems like a good guy. He just didn't want to be here, didn't want to practice, just rubbed him the wrong way for whatever reason. But anything to take down Philadelphia, right? So more power to him, to Kadarius. Whatever he can do to help, and let Andy Reid have a little payback against Philly will be nice too.
I know. It's the Andy Reid Bowl, right?
No, it is the Andy Reid Bowl. I think you guys should cheer for him. You guys should cheer for Toney. See him have, a good Super Bowl. And like you say, he would be putting your rivals away from winning the second Super Bowl in a very short period of time. You don't want Eagles fans to be able to brag about winning 2 Super Bowls in a 5-6 year period. You definitely don't want that. So I think you guys should definitely cheer on Toney for sure.
I don't know. Cold is not with it. He says F Toney.
Yeah, let them go 1-3. If they lose, they'll be 1-3.
Let's see what Mark says. Chris, so Mark says the Giants have a ton of free agents to re-sign or let go. DJ and Barkley, head of the list. However, Leo and Adoree could be casualties unless they are restructured. Do we do that? You know what? It's going to be really hard to keep all this talent on the team, right? And so we came out and we saw that Saquon turned down, what was it, $12 million, right? He wants like CMC money. I mean, I don't know. How do we do that? Are you tagging Daniel Jones? I mean, is he playing on a tag? And are you saying to him, prove it one more time? What do you think they do?
I think they try to work out a deal before it gets to March 7th or whatever, the 14th, that week of free agency. And then if not, maybe it's something of a transition tag. I think the transition tag's around $30 million. And what that does is, with the transition tag, is that they can match any other offer and they have the rights to do that. So maybe that sets the market a bit, right? Because we really don't know. He can go anywhere from 30 to 40 plus million, depending on what other teams offer. So I think right now the franchise tag is 32. And I don't think that's only like a placeholder. I think if the Giants were to put a franchise tag on Jones, they probably still try to work out a long-term deal. That just extends it past March so nobody else can grab him. So my feeling is they still try and work out a deal. And if anybody gets the franchise tag, it'd probably be Barkley, if I had to guess, if they do want to keep him, because I don't know if they're going to want to do 16 million.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to want to. But is he going to play on a tag? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see him sitting out a year. That's tough. Like if you put him on a
tag.
Yeah,
that's the question. You're right.
Yeah, I don't see him pulling Le'Veon Bell. Like, you have to have a different type of mindset to do that. And I don't see him doing that, especially if the tag is a good amount of money. that's hard to turn that down, especially for a running back. Their shelf life is limited. So I think you guys are around the money. You should tag Barkley and try to sign Dimes to a long-term contract. But the question is, what type of contract is it? Is it one where you say, all right, we're going all in and he's getting 40+ million a year? Or do you go on a shorter type deal where you can get out of it quicker? Like we talked about the Derek Carr type contract or the Jimmy Garoppolo type contract.
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel
maybe
like
there's an option, right? If it's a 4-year deal, option 4 is an option for a way out.
Yeah.
I feel like 2025 is fair. I don't know, 40. You paying Daniel Jones 40? I don't know. But we are not capologists, so that's not our job to figure out. But
No.
Chris says if Tony gets healthy,
I think we're looking at like 32 to 35.
32 to 35. Yeah. I mean, I guess it just is what it is right now for the
35. I think why we
Chris says if Tony gets healthy and helps beat the Eagles in the Super
and a big signing bonus, right? Don't forget that. They could do something and structure it where he gets a huge signing bonus and the help with that.
That's true.
There's a million ways to get around it. Being a Saints fan, I definitely know we got around the cap for a long time. So there's a lot of ways you can get around it for sure.
Where there's a will, there's a way. So if Tony gets healthy, helps beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the trade was worth it. I can get down with that logic. I really, really can. Now, he aggravated me to all hell, like not even watching him. He didn't even get on the field half the time, most of the time. But if he helps the Eagles lose, then I think that was definitely worth it. Yeah, I could roll with that logic. All right, Chris. Well, thank you so much for coming on for a few minutes. Are you on tomorrow? Are you on Rush Hour tomorrow?
Thank you. No, I can't wait to watch the show. I'm not, and I know we have Dane Belton, but I can't wait to actually watch and sit back and enjoy it. But I'm not. You're on, correct?
I'm on. Yes, pulling double.
Enjoy.
Duty.
Have a great show.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So it is time for a very good friend of the show of me and Damien. Our friend Ryan Dunn is here. What is up?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. Damien, I know last time I was part of a show you weren't there, but...
Yeah, I'm glad to be on the screen with you today.
Yeah, man.
You just had to come with the Colts hat, right? Are you just trying to rub it in that you're trying to take Wink Martindale away from us, or what?
Listen, I support the NFL. I'm an NFL fan right now. That's all I can be. So, but yeah I mean, I think I don't know what we're doing with our head coach right now, man. It's getting kind of ridiculous.
Get somebody else. Do the Colts Nation? Do you want Wink? What do you want?
Man, at this point, I just don't want Jeff Saturday back. Give me someone else that's not Jeff Saturday. And you guys probably remember now when we went 1-0 with Jeff Saturday, I thought, man, this guy's gonna be legit, and he lost every game since. So, I don't even want Jeff Saturday back. I think honestly, the Lions coordinator, I forgot his name, but the offensive coordinator from the Lions,
Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. I was like,
Johnson.
Get him. I think he's got a bright future, as well as Aaron Glenn too. And there's other coaches in the NFL that have a bright future. But I really wanted Ben Johnson. But at this point, I'm good with just no Jeff Saturday. I was a big believer in Jeff when we were 1-0.
Yeah,
and we beat the Raiders. But when you blow a 33-0 lead to the Vikings, you lose me. You lose me real quick.
You're just done. Is he dead to you, like the Empire State Building is dead to us over here? And
yeah, I saw it, man. What were they thinking?
We're launching an investigation as of 5 minutes ago. So
yeah, somebody had to have hacked it. He's not dead to me. I said this to someone today, actually. I think he's probably got a future in the NFL. I don't know, but maybe he should go and be an offensive line coach somewhere and work your way up, and not just be given this job and hey, let's see what happens. And no, let's not. But now we have a number 4 pick. I was very surprised to see this happen, but I think he should work his way up.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Of course, as I started the show, I did not want to have to come on here and say that the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. But good news is they look like they completely destroyed their city last night. So in the event that they win, I don't think there's anything left for them to celebrate. This is the only fan base I know that celebrates by like ripping traffic lights down and off and eating horse poop when they won the Super Bowl and climbing up poles. And what other fan base does this?
The horse poop. What? I've never heard of that. That's
I do remember seeing. I think Cleveland. Somebody in Cleveland did that when the Cavs won the NBA championship as well. Someone ate horse poop in their parade. That's a different level of dedication. That
I don't care how much I love my team. You'll never see me do that.
I mean, what in the world are you just like? Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna eat this horse poop. What? I
heard that they like put like grease or something on the light poles so they couldn't climb up the light poles.
I remember that too. Yeah.
Didn't work. They still climbed up the light poles last night. And if you guys saw my pinned tweet, it wasn't my TikTok, but I retweeted it. They were dancing on the bus stop. And these idiots just like piled on each other, and then they just fell right through the bus stop. Like,
wow,
so great! It really made my day. But you know who had a bad day? All the Niners fans, guys. Let's get into it. Was that not? So full disclosure, just a week ago, not even, Damien and I broke this matchup down on 3rd and 3, not to promote another show, but we had it damn near close, 50-50. I thought this was going to be some crazy defensive battle, and everybody was evenly matched up, and it was like a series of unfortunate events. Well, what the hell happened out there right from the start? Brock Purdy got elbow? Was that the first play? It went downhill from there.
Yeah, and they said it came out and said it was a UCL tear, so now he's out for 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
And can I just say really quick? I remember I saw some fans on social media just saying, "Why is he not going back in the game?" Like, what do you do? Like, first off, you don't even know. You think he wants to be on the sideline? Like, you think he wants to see Josh Johnson go out there and do? I'm sorry, like not much. Like he wants to play, and you don't know how bad the injury is. And look, he's out for 6 months because it was really bad. So, and I feel bad for 49ers fans because I picked for San Fran to win that game, but was it kind of a gimme win for the Eagles? I mean, yeah, because when you take away all your quarterbacks, like all you can do is stop the run.
Yeah, I was like, did they not watch the Giants game? I mean, I don't know. Poor Kyle Shanahan. I mean, you need a quarterback. You need a quarterback to win the game. D, where did we go wrong on Wednesday? What did we do here?
Well, we didn't see, the both quarterbacks going out. That's what we went wrong. Because it wasn't like the Eagles performed super well. Like you look at Jalen Hurts' stats, they're very pedestrian. There's great performance. And this game really shows you why insurance exists, right? Because a lot of times we complain about it. We get that bill. We're like, man, I've never been in a car accident. Nothing happened to my house, but I still got to pay this insurance. This is why you have insurance, right? Because that's the reason you have the emergency quarterback for emergency situations. So I feel like this is really just a tell story of why you should have that third quarterback on the roster. Because you're going to need them sometimes, right? You're going to have these games from hell where you need that third string quarterback to come in and do something. Because like I said, Brock Purdy came back in, but obviously he couldn't throw the ball down the field. He only could throw like a little 5-yard screen pass. And once the Eagles knew that, like, oh, we don't got to defend downfield at all. They literally had everybody at the line of scrimmage. So it's sad that happened in the NFC Championship game because we wanted to see this great matchup. And I thought if they were healthy, it would have been. But the Eagles did what they had to do. And it's hard to now get a read on Super Bowl because we haven't seen the Eagles really tested in how long? How long has it been since we've seen a healthy Eagles team tested this year?
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen them have like a decent, like close game.
Yeah, I think with this, what happened Sunday is going to open the eyes of teams. Like we need to have 3 quarterbacks. I mean, did you guys not watch Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx?
Dude, hold on.
Literally,
the biggest fan right here.
I love that movie, man. The guy was the backup comes in, now next play, boom, third string is in. Like I think this game show like you really got to have 3 quarterbacks because you never know what can happen. And like when you go back to, let's just face it, I said this on my show earlier, a vegetable Brock Purdy who's literally just standing there handing the ball off.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do. And like Damien said, you're just gonna load the line of scrimmage and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was bad. And like I said, with the Eagles, now it's hard to really get a read on them because it's like they literally were just like, we're gonna take this game now. Once they got up for like 21-7 when Josh Jackson had that fumble, it was done. It was over.
It was a wrap.
Yeah, Cole. No, they do weird shit in Philly. They eat horse shit. I'm telling you. Like, I don't go there. Live like an hour and a half from there, hour and 20 minutes. I don't go there. I'll go to Manhattan. It's a little bit closer, but I don't go to Philly. Although they do have good restaurants, but I'm not venturing over there anytime soon. I don't think they want me there anyway. Newest member of the Rush team is in the house. Dan, what is up? We are happy that you are joining Nikki and Friends. Maybe we change the name of the show to just Nikki and Friends because every week it just seems to, that's what it is. What was your biggest takeaway from, aside the fact that backup quarterbacks are really important? What's the biggest thing you took away? One positive, one negative from you guys from watching San Fran and Philly?
Dude, you can go first.
I'm
trying to think of the positive.
I know it's tough. I know.
Yeah, it's tough to really have any takeaways from this game. But if I'm looking for a positive for San Fran, I guess it'll just be the running game. Yeah, Chris McCaffrey, even with all the odds stacked against him, still had a good game. Amazing touchdown run on that one touchdown they did have. So that would be the positive, that you got Christian McCaffrey locked in and on your team, and you see that he's the ultimate weapon in this offense. That would be the one positive. But of course, the negative is that, just the injuries. Like, honestly, I think their defense was playing well. They just on the field too long. Like, they lost the time possession battle by 15 minutes. So, like, when you're on the field that long, eventually a team like the Eagles is going to wear you down. So, honestly, if you're a 49ers fan, you're just looking at this game like it's bad luck. We'll be back next year, and hopefully we can stay healthy. Now, the big question is, do you go forward with Purdy? Do you bring back Trey Lance? Like, what direction do you go in? So I guess the problem to have, because usually when you have two quarterbacks, you have none, but they may actually have two quarterbacks.
I think to your point, I think that's a positive and a negative. I think because now, unfortunately, I know what Brock Purdy did this year, but now you're really like, well, like, what do we do? Because I think if Purdy would have gotten to the Super Bowl, win or lose, I think you automatically give him the shot back at QB. I just think you automatically give him as a shot. But we all know Trey Lance has the tools to be great and probably do a lot more with this offense. But so I think it's a positive that you look like, okay, now we got two quarterbacks. Now you're like, oh, crap, now we have two quarterbacks. Like we don't know what to do going forward. So, and I think the other positive that they can take from this game is that maybe you do go with three quarterbacks, even if you bring some bum off the streets. I don't know, just someone that can. Like if you can bring someone that can at least throw a 10-yard pass on 3rd and 10, just tell him, hey, he's running a curl, run digs, post, like then he can at least go out there and throw the ball. You don't have anything else. So I think Purdy's out for 6 months. I mean, he could be out for 6 months, but that should technically bring him back into
training camp,
training camp in preseason. So I think he should be ready to go, but it's not a good situation to be in if you're San Fran right now.
No, and it wasn't good. I feel like, I don't know, what did we get, like 2-3 minutes into the game yesterday? And I'm like, this is not going to be good. And, it was like flashbacks because I just had to watch the Giants just like completely have a meltdown against this team last week. And then so to watch it, yesterday I was like, oh my God. And I'm just thinking like, we'll shift to Cincinnati, Kansas City in a minute, but I'm just thinking as I'm watching that game, the Eagles are just so freaking talented. Like, I hate to say that. I don't want to give them props, but like, as a division rival, we have to put up with this team constantly. It's like, God, we're going to deal with Jalen Hurts and like AJ Devonta Smith.
Monster, man.
Oh my God. Just, and can Fletcher Cox retire already? Please. Retire, please. Like, but as a division rival, would you want the Eagles like in your division? The team as it is right now? No.
Not at all. Yeah. Like if there was an NFC South, they probably would win 17-0. So, but to add on to his point about the quarterbacks, I wonder if the financial part is going to come into it, because Brock Purdy could be the cheapest starting quarterback of all time.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
the last pick of the draft, and we always hear about how you can build around a cheap quarterback and really have a superstar team. They already have a stacked team, right? So now you can re-sign some of those players because you have a cheap quarterback. And Trey Lance, if he's good, he's going to be expensive because he's a first-round pick. So I wonder if they're going to go that direction and say, oh, we can go Brock Purdy and build this crazy superstar team around him, trade Lance for picks. That might be the way to go.
That's a very good point, because if you believe in Purdy, it's the cheapest guy you'll ever start a quarterback. I don't know, man. With this salary cap bump they got now, who knows? But I mean, they could go and spend more money on players. So it would. That'd be crazy to see. But I wouldn't want. I mean, as a Colts fan, I don't even want the Texans in my division because we can't beat them twice in one season. We can only tie with them one time. So
that's true. You guys are good for that. You're good for the tie. It's like Colts are good for the tie. Pittsburgh is always good for a tie. In fact, I'll bet you right now. I don't know. We'll come up with some bet. The Steelers will tie next year. I don't know why or when, but there will be a tie. That's not even supposed to happen. Like, So I mean, props to the organization, because Philly definitely had a good stretch of years where they were pretty terrible. And they were the laughing stock of the NFC East, but I guess, karma's come back around, and they look like they are going to be a force to be reckoned with for quite some time. So let's move on to Cincinnati, Kansas City. I feel like we didn't get the game we thought we were going to get until like the last 3 minutes of the game, right?
Yeah. Man, the refs were. I hate to say this. I don't think the refs did not determine the outcome in the game, which I never want to see. But boy, did they have a big part in this game, which is what you never want to see either. But also that roughing, that late hit out of bounds, you just can't do that. Like you had another situation. Mahomes is not going to run another 15 yards upfield. They're going to run he's not going to do that. He's got one leg essentially. He's going out of bounds. You just gotta just let him go. Would the kicker still have made it from 55 yards? Probably. I don't know. I'm not a kicking expert.
They say the winds out there were crazy, like 50 plus.
Yeah, exactly. And you just can't do that. Like you can't, especially against a team like Kansas City. You cannot give them anything, and they gave him 15 free yards. But you hate
to see it. You hate to see it end like that, where it's a penalty that really determines the game. But like you said, that's one of the few calls the refs got right was that one. Like he was going out of bounds. You hit the guy out like that. Like
the double third down thing. That bothered the heck out of me because let's just say that play does fully happen. I mean, the play did fully happen. What if somebody would have gotten hurt? What if Mahomes would have gotten hurt on that play? What if anything could have happened? What if a touchdown or a pick six, whatever it is? Like if you're a referee and he was waving his hands and then he stopped.
Yeah, he was way over to the side though. Like you got to come in and make yourself be known. Like, stop the play.
You are paid. I don't know how much you get paid. They get paid a good amount. You are paid all this money. You have a whistle in your mouth. Like you have all this to stop the play. And you're just like, no, get out there and stop it. So that's why everyone was pissed.
Yeah, at least have the one that's closest to the play, the one that's behind the quarterback, come up and tap Mahomes, do whatever you got to do to stop play if the clock isn't right. Like that was crazy to me. And then once it runs and everybody has this play, go back and reset the clock. Don't redo the play. Reset the clock, because then on the following down, you call a holding on Eli Apple. Which for me, I know you hate Eli Apple, but he's made
on any team. I will just like to say, it doesn't matter.
He does deserve it.
Guy on any team. He pisses me off no matter what.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It is funny that he's like going full troll mode and trolls everybody. Trolled the Saints last year. Like he's really gone into it. But the thing is, with defensive hold, that's another thing I don't like. Why is defensive holding an automatic first down, but offensive holding isn't a loss of down?
I agree.
Like, it should be a loss of down if defense holding is going to be an automatic first down, because it doesn't even matter. It could be 3rd and 35. Defensive holding is going to be an automatic first down. That's stupid to me. So that could have been bad. And even though that possession didn't end in points for Kansas City, it still had an impact because of field position. So if they stopped him right there, and they get a shorter field, maybe that leads to Cincinnati getting a score there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think, again, time plays a factor too. Maybe, who knows, more or less time on the clock for Cincinnati. I don't know. And they missed some calls. There was on that Mahomes run where the roughing passer happened. I mean, there was a clear hold by the offensive lineman for Kansas City. Like they literally tackled the dude, but they missed that. But they got the roughing the passer. And it's unfortunate again that refs, that you look back and say, did they control the outcome of the game? No, but did they play a factor? They did, and which is unfortunate.
And the thing is, there was a roughing the passer that I thought was going to be called on Joe Burrow.
Oh, early. Frank Clark hit him.
Yeah, Frank, clearly late hit, and definitely just did it to like send a little message to him, like, get down, and you don't call it. Like, a lot of things went against Cincinnati. If I was a Bengals fan, I would be upset today because it seemed like we got job, but the Cincinnati Bengals had their chances for sure. Like you said, the refs didn't control the outcome, but they definitely pushed it in a certain direction, which you don't want to see.
Right.
Just like the refs, Eagles 49ers. I mean, they were letting them play, and it was chippy from the jump. And that but sometimes the refs, they will dictate the way the game is going. But I mean, I hate to just be, harping on, how do you pronounce his name? Joseph Asai. I'm watching it yesterday, and of course your reaction is like, are you effing kidding me? Right now, like you guys have just said, who's to say they weren't going to make that field goal anyway? I don't know. They probably would. These guys are kicking from like 60-yard field goals are like nothing now. But what I really hated was, let that be about the Chiefs. I couldn't stand the fact that the camera was in his face, and I get it. It's the media. You want that moment. But I can't imagine how that guy felt in that moment. Like, he just must have felt
like shit. Yeah.
Total shit. And there's the camera right in your face. So I don't know. I didn't like that. I thought, just let it be about the Chiefs. Did you guys like that they just like went right in for the kill for that poor guy?
Unfortunately, like you said, it's the media. Like, remember that Giovanni Bernard situation months ago with the reporter from Tampa? Like, unfortunately, it's sad because at the end of the day, they don't really care about people's feelings, and they want to act like they do. And I'm sure there's some that do, and I give those ones real credit to be like, okay, this is a person like that's going through a lot right now. But there are some that like, well, I want to get the story, I want to get the good stuff, and it's like, man, you gotta like just respect the person of what he's going through. He feels like shit for what he just did. He's was it a boneheaded play for sure, and even his teammates, I don't know if you saw the video of the locker room. He's walking back in the locker room. His teammates let him have it. And I think that's got to be the worst feeling to hear from your teammates right there. And that's got to suck. He knows he played what that did played a huge factor in the outcome, probably cost him the game. We don't know. Because at the end of the day, Cincinnati did have a chance to go down, control the clock, and go and win the game, and they blew that. But and then you just to hear from your teammates, that's sinking. And then you got to fly back with him too.
Yeah, I think I would take a separate flight.
I would just get a taxi. No one's even let me on the plane. I wouldn't even go to the airport.
The thing is, though, listen, it's not like Cincinnati played the greatest game of their life either. They definitely had miscues that led up to that moment. Yes, we can all agree, like, what the hell are you doing there? I don't want to like pile on either because I'm sure he feels horrible. Not that he's listening.
But it's special teams. Sky Moore getting that big punt return.
So I just don't think that Cincinnati played this great game. I don't think the offensive line showed up that well. It was definitely not the team that I thought was going to show up. So, I mean, overall, you look at the games from this weekend. I mean, did they deliver in the way that they thought they would? I was slightly disappointed.
Well, at least it was a close game. We got the drama. And with the Eagles 49ers, the drama was pretty much done after the first 2 minutes. So at least with this game, it was close. We got that drama. And now you have a real rivalry, though, because I love how the Chiefs, they really took it personal that they called it Burrowhead. Cincinnati's mayor was talking trash. I love that Travis Kelce went full 2000 rock on him with that one. So, I definitely love that. Yeah, I love that. So we got a real rivalry. I think this is going to be a good matchup for years to come. And maybe what we thought Allen Mahomes was going to be, maybe we'll get that with Burrow Mahomes, like that full-on Brady, / Manning type rivalry that we'll get for years to come there. So I definitely like that where we're going there. But you're right. Both teams, I think that both teams know each other so well now that we saw a worse version of them in this game. Because Mahomes had to pull off some magic, right? And like he had to pull off some magic to get a lot of things going in that game. The touchdown he threw when they went up 20-13, the fact that he got that ball in with
my God, I could not believe that.
Yeah.
I watched. I was like, "There's no way." Did he catch? Oh my God, he caught that. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. Jamar Chase going over 2 people on 4th and 6. Like like that was nuts. So they had some great play. Even the T. Higgins touchdown was crazy. That was a great throw, like a perfect throw to throw it up at that point. Like it was. So we definitely got some great plays, but like you said, it wasn't consistently great play in that game. But I think it's because both teams know each other so well. Because what you saw with both defenses, they did a great job of taking away what both teams want to do.
Yeah, and I think last year we saw that the Cincinnati offensive line was just garbage last year, and they went out and addressed it with spending money, but it came down. And I get that it has some, like, they're banged up. I get that, but I've always said, like, you can't just put offensive linemen out there, pay them lots of money, and expect them to be cohesive together. It doesn't work like that. You actually have to communicate with each other, build that trust with each other on the offensive line. Like, this stuff happens. Doesn't just put a right tackle out there and have him block. No, it doesn't work that way. And I think this is a clear example of. I mean, Joe Burrow was sacked 5 times. I felt like he was hit. Like 20.
He was hit 1,000,000 times.
I was like, the guy is, he's banged up, he's feeling it. So I just think this is a clear example of, it's not all about spending money on offensive linemen. I think that's going to solve the issue. It's about, can they work together as a unit and protect, call out rushers and everything. And we saw Kansas City take advantage of an offensive line that just was not ready for the moment.
No,
and it's funny because Buffalo couldn't do that. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people thought Buffalo could win that game, because they thought Buffalo would be able to take advantage. It makes you wonder, if Von Miller was playing, do we have a different matchup in this game?
100%. I think so.
Yeah. Because even though Buffalo's offense didn't really do much, so give me a cause to pause on the Von Miller point. But Von Miller would have had a field day against the offensive line if they played the same way they played against Frank Clark and company. It would have been bad.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, Cincinnati and Kansas City is my new favorite rivalry. Like, I love this matchup now, and it's a true rivalry, right? I mean, and we've gotten into it before, D, where it's like, I feel like people throw that word around, and it's like, it's not a real, you both have to kind of be equal, right? And it's, I don't know. I just hate when people throw that word around and they don't know. What does that say? I don't think it means what you think it means, or how you're using the word. Because, you look at like Steelers Ravens. Well, I mean, that's still one of the great rivalries. But, sometimes people throw it around, and it's like, no, that's not really like.
No, it's got to be real hatred there, or it's got to be like a real competitive, like, disrespect between two teams. Even though they were talking trash, I do believe both these teams respect each other. There's like a real just a competition there between these two teams. They know we're going to be here dealing with each other for the next few years at least.
I'm excited for that.
I want to see the next time, though, AFC Championship in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
they always play in Kansas City. Like,
I'm like waiting for them to play in Cincinnati. So.
Always.
So next year, hopefully, I don't know if they play each other. I don't know if they released the games yet, but if they do, they have to play in Cincinnati for sure.
I want that.
I want to go to that. Maybe I can get a Joe Burrow autograph. I would like that.
Cougar alert out here.
Yeah, I know.
Too.
I did post that. I said, let me stop, because I think this kid's like 24 years old, and I am not. Although some of you were so kind to tell me I don't look my age, but I am not anywhere near 24. Let's take the tiniest little peek ahead. I know it's super, super early, but we are looking at the Super Bowl. Early line is that Philly is a 2-point favorite, and the over-under is 50.
Oh, you're not talking about the Pro Bowl? How could you forget about the flag football Pro Bowl?
Because rush hour is, we don't have fantasy football, so we do betting.
I know, I agree.
Are you betting on flag football?
No. I don't know how you bet on that. I don't know.
I'm just gonna go with Eli's team. How about that?
I'll go with Peyton. Yeah, I'll go with the Colts.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
D, you're the deciding vote here.
I'm gonna go Peyton. I think Peyton's gonna take it very seriously. That's why I'm gonna go Peyton.
Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
because
He is.
yeah, he takes everything very seriously. So
Seriously. What do you guys think of the over/under though, in the early line?
What is it?
that's high. 50
2
points
and
is high.
over/under's 50.
Yeah, 50 points is high. And you're talking about the Eagles have a good defense, a very good defense, and the Chiefs'
You can
defense
run
isn't
on them
bad.
though.
You can,
Yeah.
you can.
I feel good
And
about
maybe
the
Pacheco
over.
has a big game. You don't
Mhm.
know, but man, yeah, 50 points
I
is a
feel
lot.
good
I don't
about
see
the over because I can see an outcome of like 28-24.
28-24. Okay.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a lot though. I mean,
For
but I
these
Yeah.
two offenses.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it's two
know.
very good offenses, that's for sure. But I feel like Super Bowl, you get a lot of just tense moments. You have 2 weeks the defenses have 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
The
usually when you
offenses-
have like a high score is when like there's a really just bad game, like Denver,
Yeah.
Seattle a few years back. Like we have
Yeah.
one of those type of games. But usually if there's a close
that game sucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. That was so bad.
It was so
terrible.
bad.
But usually when you have a close Super Bowl, it's not a high scoring game. Like if I remember correctly, usually they're like lower scoring games. It's a close game. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if it's high scoring. I mean, we got 2 weeks to jump into it, figure it out,
Yeah.
all that good stuff, and break it down. I just right now I'm not feeling a super high scoring game because I don't know. That would mean that the Eagles defense really has to wear down because you can run on them, but I don't know. I just think that both
And-
teams are going to come and bring it, and I think they're going to be on fire. The only thing maybe would be if they're like nervous that first quarter, and I don't know. So we'll see. But I feel like 50 is a lot of points.
Who are you guys rooting for?
Don't even come on the show and ask me who I'm. Are you serious?
Okay. D, who are
Do you not see the background?
I know the background.
What?
D, who are you rooting for, D?
Oh man.
Watch your mouth.
There's a difference between rooting for and who do you think is going to win.
Yeah, no, that's true. And usually, I don't really
I
have
got my
a
pick.
dog in this fight, but I would love to see Jalen Hurts get a Super Bowl. I would love to see it. Like that would be pretty dope to see him get a Super Bowl. Sorry, Nikki.
I'm rooting
God.
for them too.
How dare you?
Because here's my thing, and I talked about this. It'll be on my episode tomorrow, and I won't go too much into it. But what Jalen Hurts went through in college, I think we all know the story: being benched, transferred, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the NFL, gets his first year as a starting quarterback, like last season. And then the offseason, the fan base just criticizes, is he the guy? We don't know if he's the future. We don't know. And then he had to go out and have this type of a season just to prove to his fans, I'm the guy. And I thought that was tremendous to see. And even Nick Sirianni, remember the press conference that people laughed at him? They were saying that he looks nervous, that he doesn't look like he's ready. He's going to be a bum or whatever. And then next year he's in the Super Bowl. Like, I think that's pretty cool stuff. And I know trust me right now, I am not an Eagles fan.
You sound like it,
No,
right?
I'm not.
I can tell here.
First off, I
Like,
can't stand Patrick
so you're
Mahomes,
both
brother.
traitors, is what you're telling me. How dare you come on my show and sit here and root for the Eagles?
I'm just
This is
saying.
treason right here.
But you really like Patrick Mahomes and his brother?
Yes, I like yes. I don't care who was out there. Yes, we need Patrick Mahomes.
The brother. What has the brother done? Like he's just lived off his brother's fame.
Okay, let me tell you, if my siblings got famous, so that's like the Kardashians. I mean, I just live off of their fame too. Why not?
I know, but you would be cool living off their fame. Like you could be cool and live off somebody else's fame. Like there's other people out there who are like Cooper Manning. Cooper Manning's cool. Like we don't care that he's living off of Peyton Eli's fame because he's cool.
Yes.
The wife is the wife now, or fiance. It's still fiance or wife.
Wife.
And the wife and the brother, they're not cool.
No, they're not. I give you guys that.
The wife, I'll say, I can respect what she does. That's his wife, so she's gonna go to bat for him. I can respect that. But the brother, I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, just give it a break, dude.
give it a break on this Eagles love, and we will give it a break. Actually, Nikki's going to give it a 1 week break because I will be in Aruba next week. So it'll really be Nikki and friends. And I don't know, actually. I don't know who's subbing for me. I don't know who's guest hosting. I don't know who's coming on Rush Hour. So make sure you all tune in because I won't be here and I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Rumor is Craig's going to come on and then, who knows? Maybe everybody just files in. So hopefully
we'll just hop in and start talking.
Just hop in and start talking. It's basically what the show is until we get in season. Of course, it's going to be all your fantasy football. It's going to be all of your betting. That's what we do best on the show. But all the fans are always welcome on Rush Hour. Ryan, tell everybody where they can find you and your podcast.
You can find me on Twitter at One Done Radio. That's OneDUNNE Radio. Yeah, enjoy your trip. Find the show. Wherever you get podcasts, on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, the show's there. You can find it. And that's where you can find me. Shows will be up.
Questions. You didn't tell everybody about your questions that you send them.
Oh, well, I haven't done them in a few weeks.
I know.
I know. So I do Twitter Q&A, which I do enjoy. I got to get back into that. I did it a few weeks ago, and then I just haven't done it since. So I'll get back into that. You got my word. Once you get back from Aruba, they'll be done.
Yes. All right, D, where can everybody find you? Even though I'm sure they already know where they can find you, but go ahead.
I appreciate that assumption, but you can find me at The Real Deal WDA on all social media platforms. That's The Real Deal, W as in whiskey, D as in Delta, A as in Alpha. My podcast is called The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Just dropped a new episode today. So if you're looking for new content to listen to, go ahead and check it out. Of course, I talk about the NFC and AFC championship games, the NBA All-Star selections, and a little boxing as well. And you always get a little music with my podcast as well. So you definitely get a little bit of everything with my podcast. So go ahead and check it out. I think you will enjoy it. And the other podcast I do is called the 3rd and 3 podcast. I do along with Nikki and Jason Fearman. I know this week is going to be very, very interesting. And we're going to pin Nikki down and get a prediction because she won't be here next week. So we're going to have to pin her down and get a Super Bowl prediction this week. So tune in just to see that, just see her score and make this prediction.
I cannot wait to see Jason's reaction to this game.
It was,
sorry.
I should have went away this week. I should have. Cole, that's why Cole's a real one right there. No Nikki, no show for me. That's right. You are a real one, Cole. He's out here getting us shampoo sponsors, beach ball sponsors. Cole, get me a t-shirt sponsor because I'm wearing all these funny t-shirts that people like on this on Twitter and stuff and on social media. And don't forget, but as we go into March, Rush Hour is going to veer into a lot of college basketball. I know Dee's going to be on a lot, jumping in, giving us some basketball takes as well. And we're going to have something called Pod Madness. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to need you guys all to vote on the best podcast. And if you don't vote for me, I don't want you on my timeline. Don't follow me. Don't ever watch this show again. No, I'm just kidding. So stay tuned for that. We're going to get the brackets going for you guys. And that is it for us. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.